On Global TV News Prime, federal government calls for hope and resilience and faith for greater Nigerian. In business, federal government moves to avert fuel supply crisis, promise stability. And on the foreign scene, Hamas issues warning to seize Gaza City, attacks as captives, lives in danger. In sports, Golden Eaglets to face Ghana in semis. Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Now the news in full. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on Nigerians to remain steadfast in hope and resilient in faith, assuring that with God's guidance, the country will overcome its challenges and rise to fulfill its destiny. The president made the call at the Sunday service to mark Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary. Samuel Odi reports for Global TV News.
The Sunday service to mark Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary at the National Christian Center was marked with prayers, thanksgiving, and words of exaltation, which set the tone for nation's reflection and unity under God. The president, who was represented by President of Senate Godswill Akpabio, urged Nigerians to embrace unity, tolerance, and collective responsibility in building a greater Nigeria.
Let us write not a story of weakness, but a story of strength. Not a story of quarrels, but that of courage. Not a story of division, but that of unity. We shall give our children not ashes, but great fire to continue to light the way for others to follow.
The national president of the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria, Bishop Francis Wale Oke, emphasized the role of righteousness, justice, and fervent praise in shaping the nation's future. He encouraged Nigerians to look beyond the trials of today and trust God for a new dawn of unity, peace, prosperity, and progress.
Beginning from the head, those who lead, those who dictate the pace, those who craft the policies, those who make the laws, those who govern the people. Let the oil of unity flow from the head. Let's settle all agreements, all disagreement, all strife. Let's put vainglory aside and walk in humility.
The service, which drew dignitaries, top government officials, church leaders, and citizens, including Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, who reminded Nigerians to thank the past heroes who fought to see that Nigeria gained independence.
Our spirit has never been broken. The Nigerian spirit has always been in the air. It is already at work. We salute our spirit of resilience, spirit of hope and
As Nigerians celebrate 65 years of independence, the call for unity, peace, and faith has once again echoed across the nation. Samuel Odi for Global Television News.
As Nigeria marks 65 years of independence, conversations are shifting beyond politics and the economy to culture and identity. The Women Program experts reflect on how much Nigerians have deviated from traditional values and norms. Obong Usoro completes the report.
Speaking on the program, Adejoke Raji, a cultural advocate, stressed that while modernization and globalization have brought progress, they've also eroded aspects of the Nigeria's cultural fabric. She highlighted the need to revive values such as respect for elders, communal living, and indigenous languages.
If you are talking about identity, that's where cultural essence comes in. Who am I? What do I stand for? Where am I coming from? Who were my progenitor? How were they doing it? That was making life easy for them before the coming of the colonial masters.
Rajiv further called for deliberate cultural education in schools and stronger use of media platforms to promote Nigeria's heritage. According to her, young people can embrace modernity without discarding the traditions that shape national identity.
My people, Nigeria, we want to look at it from the south, the west, the north, the east. They were people of pride. they took joy in their personality, in their individuality, in their communal living. And when we're talking about the communal living, that's actually what made us. That's what actually united us in anywhere we find ourselves.
The Global Morning Show discussion was part of Nigeria's 65th Independence Reflections, challenging citizens to look inward, celebrate progress, and confront the cultural gaps that could weaken national unity. Ubong Usoro for Global Television.
Imo State Governor Hope Uzodimma has described Nigeria's 65th independence anniversary as a milestone, noting that 65 years of nationhood is no small feat. Uzodimma made this known at the Independence Church service at the Government House Chapel, Owerri. Our correspondent Amarachi Ibe reports.
Governor Hope Uzodimma noted that despite challenges, the country has continued to stand united, adding that the anniversary is a time to reflect on Nigerians' journey, renewed hope, and strengthened commitment to national progress. He urged Nigerians to remain resilient, patriotic, and committed to building a greater nation, assuring that with collective effort, Nigeria's future remains bright.
65 years in the life of a man is not a joke. In Imo State, the government of Imo State has decided that where we are, a lot of things must change, particularly our way of doing things.
Uzodimma used the medium to inform Imolai that President Bola Tinubu will be visiting the state on Tuesday, the 30th of this month, to commission key projects executed by his administration.
So I want to congratulate us and use this opportunity to inform you that the President of the country will be visiting Imo State on Tuesday. And while in Imo, he will be commissioning Owerri Mbise to Umuahia Road. He will also be commissioning the twin flyover at Asonta Roundabout. And he will also be commissioning Chief Emmanuel Iwaiamo International Conference Center.
In his homily, Monsignor John Iwe congratulated Nigerians on the country's independence anniversary and stressed that for the nation to make real progress, the plight of the poor must never be ignored.
So far, 65 years, we are now elders, we are now senior citizens as of age. The rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. What do we do to bridge this situation, especially the critical situation of our country today? We can't neglect the poor, the needy, the outcast. We must have something to do with them, for them.
As Nigeria marks 65 years of independence, the message from both the governor and the clergy is clear. Unity, progress, and care for the poor remains the guiding path for the nation's future. From Owerri, Amarachi Ibe, reporting for Global TV News.
The Minister of the Federal Ministry of Arts, Culture and Tourism, Annatu Musa Musawa, has awarded scholarships to 42 students of the Yakubu Gowon University, Abuja. To mark the 45th World Tourism Day, the minister disclosed this while commemorating the United Nations 45th World Tourism Day at the China Cultural Center in Abuja. Topsy Gimba has details.
Delivering the keynote address on behalf of the Minister, the Permanent Secretary Dr. Mukhtar Yawala Mohammed unveiled Nigeria's Sustainable Tourism Transformation Agenda, a bold four-pillar framework designed to translate Nigeria's cultural wealth and natural endowments into global opportunities. The Chairman of the Committee on Tourism, Senator Pam Watkon Dachungyang, commended the Ministry's vision and stressed the importance of community-based tourism, where revenues remain with host communities, empowering local people and preserving heritage. Topsy Gimba, reporting for Global Television News.
Federal government has refuted the claim of religious genocide in Nigeria by certain international platforms and online influencers. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, in a statement issued in Abuja, urged international media and other commentators to act with responsibility and have respect for facts. He also advised all stakeholders to avoid sensationalization and decisive writing, instead support Nigerians on ongoing effort in the fight against terrorism and all forms of criminality. It was a solemn moment at the Nigerian Police Force as they paid their final respects to the former Inspector General, late Solomon Arase. The remains of the former Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, have been flown to Benin City, Edo State, ahead of his funeral in his ancestral home. Kike Lomo Okere tells us more.
Draped in the national colors and escorted with full police honors, the remains of the late Inspector General of Police, Solomon Arase, made their final journey out of Abuja. Tears, salutes, and silence followed the coffin as it was lifted aboard the aircraft that would return him to Benin City, the place he first called home, and now where he will be laid to rest. For men and women of the Nigerian Police Force, it was not just a farewell, but the end of era. Arase, who once led the force with a firm yet fatherly hand, is remembered for his reforms and his steady voice during turbulent times. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, described late IGP Arase as one of the finest police officers who ever served in the Nigerian Police Force. His distinguished career was defined by integrity, professionalism, and dedication to service.
His tenure was marked by profound policy and institutional reforms in the Nigerian Police Force that emphasized professionalism, discipline, and commitment to the respect for the rule of law. He believed that effective policing requires not just the strength of arms, but also the strength of character and compassion.
Other people who paid glowing tribute to the late IGP include former Commissioner of Police, FCT Police Command, CP Lawrence Alobi. He described the late Arase as a man with outstanding character.
A man who is accountable every 3 years. And they also report to reform the Nigerian Police Force and that is it. His policy today is a legacy. And I want to praise the General Police Service for giving the honor to his late colleague.
This parade is not just a ceremony. It is the last salute to a man who devoted his entire life to public service. Dr. Arase's legacy is a reminder that every career and every tenure will one day come to an end, but true service will endure across generations. Solomon Arase's journey on earth may have ended, but his legacy within the rank of the Nigerian Police Force lives. Kike Lomo Okere, Global Television News.
Drug abuse has become a growing concern in Nigeria, with Abuja not left out as many youths fall victim to the dangerous trend. Despite efforts by government and health agencies to curb the menace, cases of addiction and its devastating impact on families, education, and society continue to rise. Kabir Hassan was on the streets of Abuja to hear what youths have to say.
In other parts of the country, drug abuse remains a silent crisis, eating deep into the lives of young people. On the streets, many say peer pressure, unemployment, frustration, and the search for temporary relief are among the leading causes of pushing many into substance abuse. Drug abuse actually affects your life in terms of business or something you want to achieve. It will be as a blockade to you because when you take it, it takes away your mind. Drug abuse will reduce focus in life. Maybe you have plans or goals to achieve. Use of illicit drugs will make you not able to achieve them.
They just want to take something that will make them forget about their problems. That is why majority of them are taking things that will make them go about their senses, that will they can forget their problems.
Others say it's beyond identifying the problem. Solution lies in stronger awareness, campaign, proper rehabilitation centers, family support, and collective effort of the government and society.
Ban oil
companies in Nigeria who produce them and ban imports from foreign countries. Stop selling them. It will be one of the ways to cut it out. Government should create awareness by organizing programs on the implication of drug abuse and show example of those who use of illicit drugs that affects, and also parents should also train their children well. When asked for advice to drug abuse, many stated that those yet to be exposed to destructive paths. The advice is clear: drug abuse destroys potentials, dreams, and lives. Staying away is the only way forward. I will say a very capital no to everyone who wants to start drug abuse, because I know it's not good.
I say no coming up because it's not good. It's not good at all.
Drug abuse remains one of the biggest challenges facing Nigerian youths today. But with the right choices and stronger societal action, the tide can be turned. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global CV News.
You are watching the live broadcast of News Prime. When News Prime returns, federal government moves to avert fuel supply crisis, promises stability. Details coming shortly, plus foreign and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is News Prime on Global Television. Thank you for staying with us. In business now, the federal government has assured Nigerians that there will be no disruption in the supply of refined petroleum products following concerns over the Naira for crude oil arrangement and disputes involving the Dangote refinery. In a statement issued by the Ministry of Finance after a meeting of the Steering Committee of Domestic Crude Oil and Refined Product Sales and Local Currency Initiative, the government stressed that energy security and stability in the downstream oil sector remained a top priority. The committee, chaired by the Minister of Finance and according to Minister of the Economy, Wale Adun, said the recent reports of the suspension of the Naira for crude oil deal by the Dangote refinery have been amicably resolved. Former lawmaker and constitutional lawyer Senator Ita Inag has commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for initiating bold tax reforms aimed at boosting Nigeria's revenue base. Senator Inag, who represented Akwa Ibom North East in the Senate and also served as a special advisor to the late President Muhammadu Buhari on National Assembly matters, made this known on Global Television's current affairs program Big Talk in Abuja. Our correspondent Topsy Gimba tells us more.
Speaking on the program, Senator Itainang described the tax reform drive as a foresighted initiative that's already yielding positive results for the nation's economy. He says the reform is a bold step and it is working to improve government revenue and fiscal stability.
Thanks to the ingenuity of the tax laws of the Tinubu administration. And there is a lot of competing, the non-oil revenue competes very seriously with the oil revenue and has exceeded the oil revenue.
The former presidential aide also expressed delight at appearing on the Global Television and across Nigerians to continue following the station's programs for credible information. Topsy Gimba, Global Television News.
Gurasa is a locally made bread in Arabian countries. In northern Nigeria, Kano State is known to be the home of gurasa, which are displayed on the streets and of course close to suya spots. In Dala community, locals confirm that many households are benefiting from the business, which has now appeared as hereditary. Global correspondent Idris Jibrin visited Dala local government, where the amazing Arabian bread is a staple food.
For almost 40 years, Hajia Fatima Musa in Dala community is known to be in the business of gurasa bread. She inherited the trade from her mother and is now passing it to 3 of her female children.
Unfortunately, for now we are suffering because of the high cost of flour and other ingredients used in processing the gurasa. The flour we use this day is not good, and in most cases, we lost our entire money.
Gurasa, a locally made Arabian bread baked by housewives within this community and other areas in Kano State, is made from flour and baked in locally made pots known among the houses as tanderu. Initially, gurasa is only known to be a meal for the royals and elites. Over time, gurasa became food for all, and this is not unconnected with the stages followed in processing it. Depending on the sizes, quantity and taste, it's sold between 50 and 100 naira. Residents of Kano and other cities in northern Nigeria eat gurasa using roasted meat called suya or pepper soup and pounded groundnut cake mixed with vegetable oil, locally known as kuli kuli. Although gurasa is still being baked by many housewives and hawked on the streets, transported to neighboring states, production, however, have some challenges.
Honestly, before now we enjoyed Boa flour, but as of now, Boa has become something else. The flour is not good anymore, and we are reciting huge loss. Not for long, I lost 150,000 naira.
This area is called Chediyar Gurasa, a name carved out of the fact that every house in this area is a small gurasa bakery. There are many residents benefiting from this trade, but the lack of support by the government to strengthen the industry is gradually reducing their production capacity, hence the need for government to save this old long business by providing soft loan to the bakers. From Kano, Idris Jibrin reporting for Global Television News.
The United Nations has reactivated sanctions on Iran after European powers accused Tehran of escalating its nuclear program and halting inspections. The so-called snapback mechanism follows bombings of Iranian nuclear sites in June by the US and Israel, raising fresh tensions around the defunct 2015 nuclear deal. Iran's president condemned the sanction as unfair, even as critics question whether they will meaningfully halt Tehran's nuclear advances. In sports now, Nigeria's Golden Eaglets have reached the semi-finals of the WAFU B under 17 tournament, goalless draw with Burkina Faso in Massakwet. The result ensured Manu Garba's boy tops would be on goal difference after earlier beating Benin Republic 4-1, setting up a semi-final clash with rivals Ghana. Despite missed chances, the team's offensive solidity and technical discipline saw them advance with confidence in the knockout stage. That's it on News Prime, and here's a recap of our top stories again. Brought to you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has called on Nigerians to remain steadfast in hope and resilient in faith, assuring that with God's guidance, the country will overcome its challenges and rise to fulfill its destiny. In business, the federal government has assured Nigerians that there will be no disruption in the supply of refined petroleum products following concerns of a Naira for crude oil arrangement and disputes involving the Dangote refinery. On 14, Hamas has issued what it called a warning that the lives of 2 captives held in Gaza City are in danger as Israeli tanks push deeper inside several neighborhoods of the besieged urban center, where tens of thousands of Palestinians are trapped by Israel's ground invasion and bombardment. And finally, in sports, Nigeria's Golden Eaglets have reached the semi-finals of the WAFU B under 17 tournament after a goalless draw with Burkina Faso. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms now showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching.